and do what they want to do.
I told you last week I disagree with you when you say that because we have the luxury of saying that because we're legal, we are successful, we are. But if you're an illegal immigrant in this country, you're not going to be not in a panic. If you are a woman working,
if he really does what he says he's going to do, I don't know what to tell you. You should not be here illegally.
You know who was on Meet the Press where he talked about the crimes surrounding the January 6th Capitol riots, and he's still claiming that he's the real victim here. Take a look.
I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it. And so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
You promised to pardon those who had attacked the Capitol on January 6th. Are you still vowing to follow through with that promise?
We're looking at it right now, most likely, yeah. They've been in there for years, and they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president, and he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me.
So in this clip, we're going to watch the ladies of The View, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Ana Navarro, and the other girl, I always forget her name, go off and change Trump's words, get mad, make a bunch of statements that are not true, get crazy, erupt into chaos, whatever you want to call it. What they do is so dangerous, right? I understand having emotion when you're reporting stuff, but she said that Trump was acting like a victim in this clip that we just watched. Actually, I will say it was refreshing to watch that clip because last I heard, Trump was saying that he was going to do pardons case by case. Now, I don't know what he's really going to end up doing, what the actions will show, but to hear him sound like that, I think that's great. I think he actually sounds pretty good. Like he's saying, there's a lot of innocent people in a very dirty, ugly place, in a place that's destroying their psyche and everything else. Enough. It's time for them to come home to their families.
So jailing the January 6th committee members doesn't count as weaponization of the Justice Department? Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, what law did they break? I mean, what law did they break? They did their job. Yeah. They did the investigating. They talked to all the people they felt were involved. So where did they break the law?
They didn't break the law.
Okay, I just was checking because, stuff changes so quickly
They didn't break the law, and that's, I think, what's scary. Former Representative Liz Cheney, who we know was a significant part of the committee, said this: there is no conceivably appropriate factual or constitutional basis for what Donald Trump is suggesting, a Justice Department investigation of the work of a congressional committee. And any lawyer who attempts to pursue that course would quickly find themselves engaged in sanctionable conduct. And those sanctions against an attorney can be as small as a fine, but can go as far as taking away your law license.
Mm-hmm. So, and guys, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you. So they didn't break the law because she's saying all they did was investigate. So now if a lawyer goes back and investigates on them and try to get some information to see what even brought all this on, whatever, but that lawyer can get sanctioned. You see, right in real time, they show you the hypocrisy. Furthermore, I personally think there should be some sort of treason when it comes to propaganda and propagandizing the American people in this country, because what they did, they said that Donald Trump started this situation. I'm not going to say it for, YouTube purposes, right? And then they make it seem like he said, guys, go march and do that. No, he was still talking when all that stuff happened. There are so many lies that have been told about this day that it's caused a big fracture in our society. But the people who were peddling a lot of these lies were elected politicians. They started talking about racism and all this kind of stuff. I remember that stupid committee. right? And they sat there on state TV, that's what it feels like, and gave a bunch of rhetoric, angry, divisive rhetoric. It makes people lose focus. We have real problems in this country. This should have never went down, this should have never been dragged as long as it's been dragged on.
And so I think that, he's saying these things in practicality, that should not happen. But I think we do need to be very clear-eyed about what he is saying. He is going to look into pardoning people that participated in an insurrection and even those who admitted to assaulting police officers, okay? That's very important. And so we've been talking about this issue of pardoning people on the January 6th committee, even though they did not commit any crimes. I think that that's important. I think that they should have that in their safe deposit box just in case, because he's looking at Adam Schiff, who participated in impeachments. He's looking at Liz Cheney. He's looking at Adam Kinzinger. And I can't imagine that he won't try to weaponize the Justice Department. When this man tells you what he's thinking out loud, you should believe him.
So, I mean, you didn't lie.
No,
You
and by
told
the way,
yeah.
I voluntarily sat down with the January 6th investigation because I believe in congressional oversight. And I did the same thing with the Department of Justice investigation. And if Republicans in the next Congress want to bring me back, I'm also happy to, because that's Congress's job, is oversight. Members of Congress are also protected by the speech and debate clause. So there's a tremendous amount of leeway that when they're engaging in official actions, the idea that there would really be any grounds to prosecute them, aside from the fact that no crime that I can come up with was committed here, is kind of ridiculous. So then I think the question that a lot of us who've been Trump critics are weighing is, how much of this is bluster? He's been saying this for 4 years. I honestly kind of tuned it out over the weekend when he said it. And how much is him telegraphing, like, well, maybe I won't do it, but some folks might harass you. You might rack up some legal bills and that kind of thing. And what I keep hearing from people who are sort of in his, line of people he might go after is, they don't necessarily want pardons because they're confident they did something wrong, and for the sake of the public
didn't do anything wrong.
they didn't do anything wrong. For the sake of the public and the history books, they would want a chance to explain why they didn't do anything wrong.
And they did. And by the way, sorry, I'm like, there's nothing to actually ask for a pardon for. And I think because there's no actionable steps, as Sonny was spelling out legally, because there was no crime committed, I can see why they're saying I don't necessarily want it. It's also not a popular take, because 78% of the Americans disapprove of January 6th and what happened.
What? Where's that stat coming from? Is it coming from the day after, right? Don't give me the stat. When is it coming from? Is it coming from the day after? Is it coming from, the month after? Because I'll tell you, a year later, people they stopped talking about it. People were like, I'm tired of hearing about January 6th, right? And the thing is, they sat there and made this thing so huge that they didn't pay attention to anything else the American people were saying. The January 6th and the trans thing and all of that and the woke is what did these people in.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Which also wasn't taken very seriously.
And the other thing is, listen, he makes lots and lots and lots of noise. He says he's going to do all these things, and he does this, and I try to say it at least once a week. He does this to keep you all in a panic. He does it to make you all do this and talk about him, and it's so terrible. But all we have to do from now until January 21st is be with our families, be with our kids, do our jobs, make sure our checks don't.
But your job is to lie to the people. Your job, you're doing what you're saying he does. Then don't talk about it. By the way, I will say, I love their setup. And I know why they went. If Trump didn't win the election, they would not have this setup looking like this. It would have all kinds of African and Zimbabwe type of folklore, ornaments on the trees. Y'all know they would. Okay. So, anywho, but coming back to it, that's what y'all do. That's not just what he do. That's what y'all do. He was asked a question. By the way, when he says, they keep asking him, "Oh, are you going to concede the 2020 election, please, for the country?" Why would I go through all that and then say I changed my mind, I was wrong, I did win or lose rather? That is absolutely insane. If he ever did that, I'd be like, yo, there's something's wrong with dude. Because for a moment, I thought he did say that, right? But that's insane.
He has other people who are ready to go. But I don't think that they can just go out and do what they want
I
to
told
do.
you
So
last
there's
week.
legal ramifications.
No, wait, I told you last week I disagree with you when you
I
say
know,
that. Because,
but-
no, because we have the luxury of saying that because we're legal, we are successful, we are. But if
Listen,
you're an illegal
listen.
immigrant in this country, you're not going to be not in a panic.
I'm-
If you are
well,
a woman working for the Department of Defense, you have a right to be in a
Anna,
panic.
You tell people to stay fraught and like this. That
No,
is
I'm
not.
telling people to prepare, Whoopi. I'm telling people,
Do you
telling
think
people
they're not
to prepare.
prepared? They are
Well,
prepared.
right, so that
and
means
I'm saying
that
to
means
people,
that they can't be relaxing and enjoying
no,
Christmas
it
when
doesn't mean that.
when winter is
no,
coming.
it does. You know what? I'm sorry.
I mean, I disagree.
Winter is here.
Right.
Winter's been with us, and my point is, we can lay down and do nothing for the next 15 days, and then be freaking out for the next 4
Yeah,
or
but
2
my
years.
point to you is
But
we
my
are in a
point, listen,
privileged position that a lot of
I have
people
a
who are going to
I
be
have
under
a
his
family
attack
who
are
is
not.
going through the same thing.
I'm on his
Anna,
enemies
calm
list and
down.
I'm not panicking. Like, we just have to
we
live.
Gotta,
You
we
have
have
to
to
live.
figure out
This is
what
the
we're
United
panicking
States of
for.
America.
We don't know what we're panicking for. They're throwing 50,000 things at you to make you do this. I'm saying don't buy into that.
Live your
do
life.
what you have to do. Take care of your family. And when we know what is happening, when we know what we're fighting, we'll get out and fight. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm saying
It just is not a good look at all. I'm sorry. She's just doing way too much and everything else. Like, I don't actually, I'm not even mad at Anna Navarro for what she's saying. Because it's like at the end of the day, this is what they did for the last 4 years. For the last, 8 years? They've been complaining about Trump. All of media. So Anna's looking like, well, why all of a sudden we have to turn around and do something different? Okay, yeah, the illegal immigrants that Anna's bringing up, yeah, they should be worried, right? They should be worried. If he really does what he says he's going to do, I don't know what to tell you. You should not be here illegally. Point blank, period. You shouldn't. What? Why? I don't understand. Oh, by the way, people say America's for the Americans. You're automatically deemed as some sort of fascist Nazi type of. America's for the Americans. You can't be here illegally. So I'm just gonna let people just break into my house. It doesn't make sense. Break into my house, come take my stuff, and I'll just find a corner. No, unacceptable. We need to have a sovereign nation. Borders is part of a sovereign nation. Right now, we don't have that. I don't really know if we ever will, but I'm just saying. So they always go through this. They go through all of this. Like, let it go. Let it go. But I understand why she doesn't want to, but it is what it is. We'll continue to cover it. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.